ducking, dodging. You got to look both ways before you cross the street. Everybody's taking shots at us, Caitlin Clark fans, the Chicago Sky vloggers, the content creators, the Angel Reese content creators are firing at us non-stop. We got to keep our head on a swivel, y'all. We got to keep our head on a swivel. Stephanie White's a bum and needs to be fired. That's what's going on. Did y'all see the interviews today? Sophie Cunningham just exposed Stephanie.
Sophie Cunningham just pulled off a plot surprise from a reality show that nobody signed up for. She did more than just defend Caitlin Clark. She body-slammed Stephanie White's entire coaching credibility with receipts, sass, and a look that stated, "I said what I said." What caused this intense takedown? Why does everyone in the WNBA act like it's a catastrophic team endeavor? Stay put because this drink is hotter than the Fever's bench rotation.
Stephanie White, in her post-game interview, confirms the team looks the best when the ball is in Caitlin's hands, when she is the main decision maker, and everything revolves around her. Yet for some strange reason, in the Valkyries game yesterday, after witnessing that in real time, Stephanie White decides to change things up, slow the things down, take Caitlin out the game, and she complains that the team suddenly loses.
When fans flood the arena with mismatched apparel and chant like it's a cult revival meeting, it has nothing to do with a 5-player configuration. It's the Caitlin system. Caitlin is the system. You could throw 5 traffic cones and Fever jerseys next to her and it would still sell out because, in the end, nobody is buying tickets to see backdoor cutters and screen assists. They are buying Caitlin. Ignore it.
To basically say what I've been saying and everyone else, give the damn ball to Caitlin. Whatever offense we running right now, it is not working. You have to give the ball to Caitlin and let Caitlin do what Caitlin has to do. Now, we done seen this formation time and time again. Now, I know some people might want to say Caitlin Clark was off the ball somewhat at Iowa. She was a little bit in years.
This isn't a team sport when the ecology revolves on a single gravitational force. In this basketball theater, she is the director, the star, and the person who destroys the ticket at the door. Sophie Cunningham walks into this amazing chaos. A basketball player, a human microphone, and a full-time truth teller. The woman's lack of a mute button is a blessing.
Rough time being an Indiana Fever fan right now. Things is getting real crucial. It's real serious. We're almost 20 games into the season and we are below 500. This is embarrassing. I would have, at the beginning of the season, I would have bet you my last breath. I would have bet my life, my house, everything that there was a 0% chance that we would be under 500 19 games into the season. This is crazy.
Sophie has no intention of serving as a diplomat. She is not applying for a position at the league headquarters. She's also not sugarcoating anything to please the people who just care about pleasant thoughts. She expresses what needs to be stated with HD clarity and the precision of a little buzzsaw. People are uncomfortable around her because she speaks the truth as though it owes her money. Instead of a soundbite, you get a TED Talk and a fireworks display when you ask Sophie a question.
A 19-point loss, Caitlin Clark's return, in which, since this is a lady we're talking about, it looks like Stephanie White has spaded Caitlin Clark, for lack of a better way of putting it. If it was a dude, I'd say neutered, but, you get my point. She has taken away Caitlin Clark's greatest asset, which is the creator.
She has the rare quality of genuinely believing what she says while speaking out loud in public, in contrast to the media-trained athletes of today who mumble cliches. This is similar to flying confidently without a parachute. Naturally, some sensitive people were offended when she volunteered her opinion, more like $200, 0 cents, on which communities should get WNBA expansion teams. Let out a gasp. A player who discusses the league in front of microphones. How could she disrupt the echo chamber of boring interviews and pre-planned talking points? She wasn't playing league politics. She threw the dice, tossed the board, and told everyone that the pieces had been rigged from the start. But that's the allure. Sophie is not competing to be named Miss Congeniality. Public relations is not what it is. That's because she sees what every basketball IQ above sea level sees. Caitlin is the system, while everyone else struggles with the user manual. Caitlin shouldn't be behaving as if she's being penalized for inventing the three-point line. The only thing more weird than her current usage is witnessing referees try to explain a technical foul without resorting to interpretive dance.
The post-practice interviews had this to say.
I think that everyone saw that. We kind of got some flow when Kate was hurt and our offense was clicking. But now we have to have a new offense when she's in there because she just brings that much to the game, and so we have to adjust. And I think all of us just want it now. We know
we had some flow, but when Caitlin's here, we need to play a different style because she's that great. That is what Sophie Cunningham just.
Instead of framing the offense around the generational phenomenon, there is a conscious effort to include her as if her existence is a small irritation that needs bureaucratic approval. She doesn't have a supporting part. She is not a project that has to be developed. She is the focal point, the template, and the dramatic finale before the gym lights go out. Sophie doesn't have time to study coded language. She finds it annoying when coaching hierarchy from the past act like it's 1997. When she sees a star being purposefully dimmed, she yells, "Nope, not on my watch," not because she is rude or disrespectful, but rather because she is unfiltered in a league that still loves its filters. She will voice what everyone is whispering during group conversations. She will question decisions that others defend as strategic. She will be critical of substandard coaching adjustments that are more like confused yoga poses than basketball moves.
But when Caitlin Clark has become the Caitlin Clark we loved and we've grown to see, Caitlin Clark has the ball in her damn hands, bro. Caitlin Clark has the ball in her hands, and she said verbatim herself that they run a read and react offense. You know what that is? The ball's in Caitlin's hands. Now, there has been a large speculation that Caitlin Clark pretty much wants to go to New York and play with Sandy Barnadello in the game.
Beneath all the catchphrases and tactics is the real problem. The Fever made the decision to go grocery shopping in the Ferrari they had the keys to. Caitlin's genius is being wasted like Wi-Fi in a wilderness. A once-in-a-generation talent isn't selected to stand in the corner while someone else tries a post-up, which leads to a missed layup and a collective groan from the crowd. You allowed her to prepare meals. You step away, hand the spatula to another person, and let the genius take control. Sophie is the controversial one, though, for raising this issue. Not the coaches. Not the offensive strategy that seems to have been scribbled down on a serviette in the midst of mayhem. Not the decision-makers who still think professional shooters are just role players. No, Sophie is the one who makes bold assertions and doesn't pretend that the emperor's garments are real. As if she had disparaged their grandmother's dish, half of the timeline demanded an apology after she merely voiced a choice. It's expansion, not the Hunger Games.
I don't care about the rest of what she has to say. It's gonna sound good, I'm sure. It's gonna be her refusing to take accountability, I'm sure. It's going to be her putting the onus on the players, I'm sure. Not owning up to her, I'm sure. But what she said right there, other than 2 5-minute spurts, the team lost focus, didn't pay attention to detail, so on and so forth. That is her not realizing that she's accountable for what
Sophie is aware that this league can only be successful when the product is indisputably outstanding, something that many people are reluctant to admit. Furthermore, rather than when Caitlin disappears for 10-minute stretches of time as though the coaching staff has grounded her, the product is being promoted when she touches the ball. If supporters are buying jerseys and packing arenas for a single player, maybe, just maybe, the offense should use her more than the bench rotation includes folding chairs. Viewers were drawn to the Fever's outdated sets, which confuse motion and advancement. Offensive things that resemble group therapy sessions and have no resolution are not being watched by anyone. They want fireworks, deep threes, and the kind of confidence that even opponents' supporters applaud. Because sometimes telling the truth requires a microphone and a little attitude. With the comment, "Players on their own islands," just when things couldn't get any hotter, Sophie Cunningham enters the picture. This is a tropical vacation, not a professional basketball team. The WNBA suddenly became Survivor Indiana Fever Edition, where synergy is legendary, trust is a myth, and everyone is too focused on paddling alone to notice that the boat is drowning.
I never thought that I would be saying this late last year in November when the Indiana Fever hired Stephanie White. I never thought I'd be saying this right now, only 19 games into the 2025 season, that it's time for Stephanie White to go. The Indiana Fever needs to fire Stephanie White. This is not going to work. What we're seeing is not going to work. It's just not.
Because sometimes telling the truth requires a microphone and a little attitude. And Sophie Cunningham said that just as things were heating up. Individuals on different islands. For instance, this is a tropical vacation rather than a professional basketball team. The WNBA suddenly turned into Survivor Indiana Fever Edition, where synergy is legendary, trust is a myth, and everyone is too focused on paddling alone to notice the boat is sinking. This is Sophie grabbing the loudhailer to call attention to something that would be painfully obvious to anyone with 2 eyes and even a half basketball brain. The gang isn't only broken up. They are aggressively allergic to unity. For this long group project, nobody wants to open the Google document. Sophie added, "Hey, maybe we should, work together," as she stood there. Instead of addressing the dysfunction, the decision-makers decided to keep spinning the wheel in the hopes that something would finally click. Chemistry will appear out of nowhere, much like a time-limited voucher. 2/3 of the way through the season, the head coach is still scribbling on a whiteboard, seemingly stuck in her own maze. We're still figuring it out at Game 20. That isn't a tactic. That is malpractice with a headband. With Caitlin Clark on your roster, think of offensive rhythm as a kind of scavenger hunt. Instead of being organized events, the plays resemble spontaneous street performance art.